book of Proverbs opens. The book of Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel, for gaining wisdom and instruction, for understanding words of insight, for receiving instruction in prudent behavior, doing what is right and just and fair, for giving prudence to those who are simple, knowledge and discretion to the young. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and let the discerning get guidance for understanding proverbs and parables, the sayings and riddles of the wise. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction, and do not forsake your mother's teaching. They are a garland to grace your head and a chain to adorn your neck. Today, I want to talk for just a minute about tradition. If I could sing, I would parrot Tevye and Fiddler on the Roof and talk about tradition and how without tradition, we're no more stable than a fiddler on a roof. Now, if you've read the Bible, you know the Bible, you might find this a little bit surprising because Jesus says some negative things about tradition in Matthew 15 and other places. But look, I'll recognize that. But what I'm trying to do here is in this series is to help you understand that we know what we know on the basis of one of four categories of truth. Tradition is one of them. Reason is another, intuition is a third, and revelation, revealed truth from God, is a fourth. So all four of these have value in their right place, rightly understood. So there's something referred to as the quadrilateral of authority, which looks at those four types of authority and says, yes, all four have value. What we've got to be doing is we've got to be rightly ordering which of these sources of authority we are deferring to on different issues. And we've got to understand that this is the one that stands above all the others. I used to say that revelation is the trump card. It's a little bit more complicated today to use the word trump. So I'm just going to say that it needs to be our primary source of authority when we find these areas conflict. Now, just for clarity, oftentimes when you hear tradition used by Roman Catholics, they're referring to a very specific set of teachings that get incorporated in what is called the magisterium. I'm not talking about that. Furthermore, when I talk about tradition, I'm not talking about tradition as it gets fleshed out by the Pharisees, which is what Jesus speaks very negatively of in Matthew chapter 15. But when I'm talking about tradition, and I'm talking about the wisdom we learn from our parents, very much like what gets set up in the first chapter of Proverbs, where Solomon is writing to his boys and trying to instruct them in how to live a life that is worth living. We cannot live long enough to make all the mistakes ourselves. The Bible is a guide. It's a lamp unto our feet, a light unto our path. There's also wisdom that comes from being around men and women who have been following Christ, living wise lives, and can help us live better. All this will make more sense as we continue through the week. Have a good day.